So this is part where we do something funny in the front of the video.
We're always funny, man.
We're always funny.
We're hilarious.
We are. Let's just do a podcast. We all believe our opinions.
It was really a terrible idea.
Yeah. All right. Hello, Internet. Thanks for joining us. Dwayne Wade is announced to the NBA Hall of Fame.
How's the new CBA going to be affecting NBA contracts?
Should Lamar Jackson sit out the full 2023-24 season? Proposal gone wrong on opening day. Let's talk about it here on the DNA Sports Recap. How's it going, AJ?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Have a great week. How about you?
Doing good. Doing good. Cheers.
Cheers.
To a good show. Once again, folks, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see this episode in its entirety, you can watch us on YouTube underneath the new YouTube video podcast section. Where also the audio is available wherever you find your podcasts.
Check it out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We love all the comments and we appreciate all your guys' feedback.
With that said, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what should we talk about first? The NBA?
Oh yeah, dude. Pretty cool stuff happened in the NBA. Mr. Dwayne Wade gets formally elected into the Hall of Fame. He's a first balloter.
There's no doubt in my mind on that one.
Oh, dude, absolutely no doubt. Dwayne Wade. I feel like he was a fantastic player in his career, and everybody knew that. But he was always like a little bit underrated. Do you agree? He was kind of overshadowed by LeBron and like all those Miami years.
And Shaq.
Yeah. I mean, when he spent most of his career with Miami, he had like one season with Chicago, one season with Cleveland, and then he goes back to Miami for 2 years.
Yep.
But I mean, he played 1,054 career games and averaged 22 points over those 1,000 games.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
And let's not forget about the most important statistic of his career. Minority owner of Utah Jazz. That's right. Right.
That really is
really solidified. That's why it was first ballot. So yeah,
I'm sure it wasn't the 3 NBA championships, 13-time NBA All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, and 3-time All-Defensive Player.
I mean, I'm not saying that didn't help. I'm just saying the minority ownership is what
that set it over the top. Thank you, Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. You're welcome, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Seriously. Anyway, but I know, fantastic career that is well deserved. First ballot unanimous Hall of Famer, easily, I would say.
Yeah.
Fantastic career. And just a good all around dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those years he's going through a lot of personal issues with divorce and stuff like that. You never know it. He never uses an excuse to take time away from the game or anything like that. So just a class act all around.
Dude, and one of the most explosive players to watch. I mean, he's, Donovan Mitchell's pretty regularly compared to him and like a lot of their stuff, like as far as just be able to get up off the floor, make the big highlight plays. And that is, if you haven't seen Dwayne Wade play in some of those older videos, go check it out. I'm telling
especially
you,
the first couple of years with LeBron.
Dude, he was just all over the place, man.
I swear his probably assist totals jumped by 3 a game with that alone, man. He was just his court ability to read the court was just insane, especially when he was still quicker than everybody else in the court.
Averaged 5.4 assists a game over his whole career. 5.4 assists a game over 1,000 games, dude.
Wow, that's insane. Yeah, I mean, again, that's awesome, fantastic, good for Dwayne. Glad to have you, man. You and your shitty reality TV show. Sorry, game show. Game show. He has a game show. Have you seen it?
A game show.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Anyway, once again, congratulations, Dwayne Wade. Love having you as part of the ownership of the Jazz, and a fantastic career, well deserved.
Yep.
So a little bit of NBA news that has gone down has been renegotiated and ratified the new CBA. So you got anything on that?
Yeah, there are a couple different rule changes or a couple different changes to the CBA. One is players are now able to earn 140% of typical contracts, where right now they're currently at 140 or 120%. The big player, one of the big names that's really getting talked about is Jaylen Brown with the Celtics. He's currently set to earn $30.7 million on his current final year of his contract. Under the new CBA, he would be eligible for 4 years, $190 million, with a first-year salary of $43 million, and that's if he doesn't make an All-NBA team.
Right.
If he does make an All-NBA team, his offer could go up to 5 years and $290 million.
It's good news for Boston fans. And I know it sounds kind of funny to say that. You're like, what are you talking about? Now we have to pay him more. But, a lot of things with Jaylen Brown that people forget about is how important he is to that team.
Well, he takes a lot of pressure off of Jason Tatum, man.
I mean,
when you have a scoring punch like that, you've got to go out, you've got to respect him from the three-point line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got to have a body on him. It's not someone you're going to just let sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
So it takes all that double pressure, that double team pressure off of, Jason Tatum, that it's allowed him to kind of grow into this fantastic player that he's become because he's got such a stellar sidekick.
Yeah, he's above his career averages right now. Career highs in total points per game, rebounds, and assists. His field goal percentage is up. His three-point field goal percentage is up. So he's averaging right now 26.7 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, 3.4 assists. That's up from his career averages of 17.9, 5.2, and 2.2 respectively. So he's having a career year for himself right now.
Yeah.
Punching well above his averages. And, you take Jaylen Brown off that team and,
So my question is do you think he's able to do that by himself without a Jason Tatum there?
I think he's better.
You think he's better than Tatum is?
No, I don't think he's better than Tatum.
Oh, okay.
No. I think his points are better. I think because he's in the final year of his contract, he's demanding the ball more, and he's able to prove what he can do a little bit better.
Yeah.
He's been in trade talks quite often, and whenever he was mentioned with the Utah Jazz, I'm like, yes, do it. I don't care. Trade the whole team.
Yeah, trade everybody.
I don't care.
Send them all.
Except
for Lauri Markkanen.
Well, yeah, we didn't have him yet, so that was different.
Still.
Yeah, he wouldn't be in the trade talk. Or Kessler, man. Holy cow.
Kessler's a monster.
Yeah, and then we're going to get derailed by 20 minutes of Jazz talk here,
yes.
So we'll circle back. But yeah, so I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are an excellent 1-2 punch for the Celtics.
Great complementary pieces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Jaylen's scoring helps Jason Tatum get open, and I think Jaylen Brown's great scoring gets Tatum open.
Yeah, imagine this: Jaylen Brown in Portland with Dame.
Damian Lillard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know they have some good talent, but if you had somebody who is, Jaylen Brown is the NBA's epitome of a 3-and-D guy. His three-point shooting percentage is down this year, down to 34% from his average of about 37, just below 37%.
Yeah, that's actually kind of surprising, but it's probably higher volume, though.
Yeah, it is higher volume. He does have more minutes per game, and his true shooting percentage is much higher. So, and his effective field goal per shooting is still higher. So I think he's just choosing his points better.
Yeah.
Choosing his spots better. But,
yeah.
And
that's just something that comes with a little bit of experience, really.
Yeah.
You find your spots on the floor that you're a more effective scorer. You find your spots on the floor where you can move into open space.
Yeah, he's 6'6", 223 pounds. He can guard 1 through 4.
He's 6'6". I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah, 6'6", 223. The problem is the reason why I say it's good news for Boston fans is because there was no way he was signing with back with Boston.
No.
He's really not happy with the way his name has been thrown around in trade talks over the last 2 seasons and the last 2 trade deadlines. They're like, we're going to go after Durant, and they mentioned his name in draft talks and he didn't like it. And he had the head coach, and then he also had the owner of both of these trade rumors. After both these trade rumors, have a one-on-one conversation with him. It's like, hey, look, we never actually considered trading you, And he went on record saying that, they'll tell you one thing and then they'll say another. He's like, I'm from the South. We always prefer you coming in the front door versus trying to go in the side or the back door. Which is basically his way of saying, don't lie to me, basically.
Yeah, just tell it to me like it is. Like, if you're going to trade me, trade me.
If you're using me for a trade piece, tell it like it is. But honestly, I think that he is just as valuable to that team as Jason Tatum is.
I totally agree. Those 1-2 scorers that you're constantly setting screens for and making motions for.
Yeah.
And any lapses in a defense, and you've got somebody open.
Yeah, you got Al Horford as their 5 that could easily knock down at corner 3.
Yeah, you can play 5 out with that rotation pretty easily, and I mean, there's only a handful of NBA teams that can really still defend that.
With all that, he's not really happy with the organization. But with this new, if he makes All NBA first or second,
he'd be crazy not to sign, dude.
He's gonna sign a 2-year, a 5-year, $290 million contract.
Yeah.
So
well, especially in this day and age where you just demand a trade if you're not happy with the organization anyway. You've already got your money. I mean, only the Celtics can pay him that. So
I think it has huge implications on that when it comes to this. I think that does potentially keep that team together a little bit longer because pretty much any team could have offered him the money that he could have gotten from Boston.
That he was already getting paid. Anybody could have paid him that.
Anybody could have paid him that. Now with this, if he makes first or second All-NBA, he's
in big money, man.
He's in big money.
Yeah. Or one of the changes was 65 game for some postseason NBA awards. I absolutely love this rule, man.
Yeah, this whole thing about like only playing, because that really gets rid of a lot of this load management BS. When you got players that are
as a
spending,
fan, that's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah, when you got teams spending like they're on the court 50 games a season, you're just like, all right,
Like, how was he even eligible to win an MVP at playing 50 games?
Yeah, 55.
When he was on the
cutoff
court,
was
he was
60.
the best.
Yeah, 60 was the cutoff. Then technically, anybody could be eligible for the MVP. So
yeah.
I don't know. I never liked the rule. I like that it sets a minimum of 65. I think that's great. I don't really. Yeah, there's no negative to me on that one. I don't think.
Yeah, I like the rule a lot. I think it gets players on the court and it forces players to be out there and competing because those guys are out there for the fans, man. And it sucks when you're a fan and you go buy tickets to a game because you want to see a player and they're out for load management or they've got a finger sprain that they've been nursing for 3 weeks. You're like,
you better hope Joel gets the MVP nod this year because that's a player that's typically missing.
Yeah, he won't have a chance.
20 games a season.
Yeah, he won't have a chance, dude.
Let's hope he has a shot now because that doesn't bode well for him at all.
Yeah.
Or LeBron, or Anthony Davis, or not that they really had a shot.
I was going to say Anthony Davis.
Yeah, well, that goes back to the CBA thing. No team treats you better than the team that drafted you.
I agree.
The Pelicans went above and beyond to try and develop and make Anthony Davis and give him everything he needed to succeed. Now he's like, okay, now you're expected to perform. And you're now a co-captain to LeBron.
Yeah, they put him in position to be a number one successful player. And he took that and pretty much said, yeah, no thanks. I want to win a championship. You know what I mean? Like, rather than build around me, just go ahead and I'll walk out. You guys figure it out by yourselves.
Yeah, and honestly, the team's arguably better than they ever were with Anthony Davis as they're sitting right now.
No thanks to their number one pick, though.
Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there. That's another situation where maybe addition by subtraction at that point. So
yeah.
But yeah, speaking of which, I do want to actually do something that our audience may not be appreciative of. I think I'm going to pivot from who I think should be the MVP this year.
Okay, I'm ready.
So I've told you that I think Jokic is deservedly the MVP. He's a 2-time MVP going into this season. He's having the best career. He's having the best year of his career on the best team in the NBA right now, statistically anyway. He's averaging a triple-double. And on top of that, they even asked him about it, if he should be eligible for the MVP. And he said, you know what he said? He said, and this is an exact quote, so I'm taking some liberty here. He said, regardless of who wins it, they deserve it. Whether it's me, Jokic, or Giannis, they all deserve the award. So I'm happy either way. And that's just a class act move right there. So So Damian Lillard is having the best career of his life. If I was to tell you, okay, without knowing that, if I had told you who is scoring 32.2 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, and 7.3 assists, while shooting 37% from the three, 91% from the foul line, and has an effective field goal percentage of 56%.
Definitely MVP numbers. Jeez, dude.
That's Damian Lillard in 2023. And he's 32 years old right now, going into his 33-year season.
And dude's just still killing it, man.
And so.
I'm a huge Damian Lillard fan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Huge,
well, Weber State guy, so that makes, absolutely. So his career averages are 25 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, and 6.7 assists. So again, they are up across the board for him as a player. So if it's true that the playoff success does not matter when it comes to voting for the MVP, to me, that's kind of hard to argue.
How's Portland sitting in the regular season this year, though?
They have the 9th best odds to get Victor Wembanyama. So there are.
So not doing great.
No, they have 9% chance. So they're the fifth best in the NBA in points in odds to get Victor Wembanyama. So they are not playing well now.
Okay.
So if you were to look at the NBA standings, they are outside the playoff tournament, and they are 2 games behind. Actually, 3 games behind Utah when it comes to the 12th place in the.
So they struggling.
They're struggling. So basically, everything they try to do to build around him has just not panned out. I don't blame Portland. They're a small market team, and they're trying to make the ancillary around the edges moves to really pair, Damian with somebody. They had that 1-2 punch of Damian Lillard and who's now playing for
CJ McCollum.
Yeah, McCollum, who's now with the Pelicans.
Yep.
So they had CJ McCollum. They had LaMarcus Aldridge in there at one point.
Yeah.
They had a couple good number 1 draft picks that just didn't pan out. So I don't blame Portland. I just think they just aren't able to really put together a decent, roster. But
but I mean they got Anthony Simons on that team, and that dude has turned into quite a player. I mean they do got Joseph Nurkic, Jusuf Nurkic. Jeremy Grant, Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant was the one piece they were really trying to add to kind of solidify them on the defensive end, and kind of really be that paint slasher, score type option. They do have a nice young core, So if you think about it this way, obviously this brings me to my next point about it, the fact that they are shutting down Damian Lillard for the rest of the year. So here's a question I pose to you: is that the last game that we see Damian Lillard play for Portland?
No, I think Damian Lillard will be with the Portland Trailblazers to end his career. That's my opinion.
I'm thinking he's posted a lot of cryptic stuff on social media.
Yeah.
Saying things like loyalty has an expiration date and how long should I wait? He's got a loyal. He is known for his loyalty.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, but at the detriment to him, I don't think it's going to be his decision if he chooses to leave. I think
that's fair.
I think he's not going to come out.
If it's up to him, he'll finish his career with the Trailblazers.
I think if it's up to him and he wants out, he's going to go to Portland and ask to be traded, and he's going to not want it to be know that it was his decision. I think what's going to happen is he's going to go to Portland. He's going to go to the team.
I see what you're saying.
And the team's going to say, we're going to go ahead and start a rebuild, and it's in his best interest
to move on.
To put him with a contender. So I see that happening. There's just a lot of talk about, with his cryptic posts on social media, with the fact that they just haven't been able to seem to build a decent contender around him. That they really have a shot of going anywhere, and versus him, asking for a trade, I see more likely that Portland is in their best interest to trade him at the peak of his value, which is obviously this season, because he's well above his career averages. So,
well, I think Damian Lillard's still got, 3 or 4 good years left.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. The dude, he's been one of the most prolific 3-point players, one of the most clutch players in the NBA for years now.
Mm-hmm.
He already has the ability to lead this team. I think 1 or 2 pieces, and Portland's right there, man. Really, they've got so much young talent on that team right now. I just wonder if they can actually put it together to do anything with it.
That's my point. I think Portland's really the one that's got the tough decision to make.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple. If they land the number 1 pick, it's easy. Run it back with, Victor Wembanyama and Damian Lillard, and then you also have Jeremy Grant. That's a nice 1-2-3 punch right there.
And Anthony Simons, man, I'm telling you,
Simons,
dude can play though.
Yeah, he can.
He's become quite well. The problem is he's a defensive liability.
Yeah.
But he's a scoring machine. That guy can get on it.
You can only really have one defensive liability on your team, and with Damian Lillard,
and Damian Lillard is the one.
And Damian Lillard is getting older every year. And I wouldn't say, that they can hide defensive liability at the guard on the defensive end if you have a good team of good defenders around them, which, a la the Golden State Warriors, are able to hide Steph Curry, and he's not even that bad of a defender.
No,
either.
he's a pretty serviceable defender, really.
Yeah, so that's just why I'm like, you don't want too many of those on at least on a starting five anyway.
Yeah, and I think the big thing with Lillard is you really don't want Damian Lillard giving everything he has on defense when you're going to rely on him to score 30-plus points every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's got to come down and make sure he's got gas to go on the offensive side, because he's going to carry you to the end.
I think if they score the number one pick, it's easy. Victor Wembanyama would change the majority of the franchises in the NBA. They're on the outside looking in right now.
Right.
If he's healthy, always a caveat. But if they get like 2 through 5, they've got a tough decision to make. They trade that pick and Damian Lillard for the number 1 overall pick, or they trade the number 1 overall pick if they do get Victor for some ancillary pieces to build around him. I think they get the number 1 pick. It's easy. Dame's back. He's happy.
Yeah.
They're doing whatever they can to build around him. They got Victor on a rookie scale contract. It's perfect, right? If they end up with 2 through 5, that puts Portland in a very unfortunate position that they're going to have to make some tough calls on. So,
yeah.
I don't know. That's my take. Obviously, they're shutting them down. They just don't want to get any more wins. They don't want to lose their percentage chances of getting Victor Wembanyama. So.
Well, you pull Damian Lillard out of any game, and your chance of winning goes down significantly.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely agree there. Anything else on the NBA? Oh, we need to talk about the play-in tournament, like how that's scheduling out. I mean, we've got a few games left before the postseason. As of today, which we're recording this, which is the 2nd, June 2nd, we have the number 10 playing against the number 9, which is OKC against Minnesota. And then we also have, this is on the West, we also have the Pelicans playing the Lakers. So let's start with the Pelicans and the Lakers. Who do you got coming out of that game in the first playing game?
I'm not sure what the current Lakers' health status is, and I don't know if the world even knows. If LeBron James is healthy, if Anthony Davis is healthy, I think the Lakers come out of the first round, or out of the play-in tournament.
I think if LeBron James is healthy, they win. I don't think Anthony Davis makes any impact whatsoever. I'm sorry. He's the new what's his name? The Orlando Magic.
Dwight Howard?
That's who it is.
Oh,
Dwight Howard.
He's the new Dwight Howard.
Yes. He just happened to be given the talents and the skills and the size of a good basketball player, but he doesn't really like it. He just doesn't care. He's too injury prone. I don't think he has any bearing on that game whatsoever. I think one game, if his heart's into it and if he's filling up to it, he'll play well. But if one thing, one little bump in the post he doesn't like, and he's out.
Well,
he won't go in the post again.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll just sit there and shoot threes all day. He was mean to me.
Yeah, exactly. I think if LeBron is healthy, I think they get out of that. Unfortunately, I really like New Orleans. I would love to be wrong on that one because there's actually only a game separating the two right now. But I think the Lakers come out of that one, just like you said there. The Minnesota versus OKC, who comes out of that one?
I'm gonna say Minnesota comes out.
Okay, you taking the playoff experience on that one?
Yep. The Rudy Gobert, the Mike Conley. I think those guys pull them past a really inexperienced OKC team.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I think that's good. I would really love that these two young teams would be the ones that actually win, but yeah, I think you're right on that one.
Yeah, and then you'd have Pelicans versus Minnesota, and I'm going to take
the Lakers versus Minnesota.
No, we were saying the Lakers win, so they go into the 7th seed against Memphis.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I saw that. I'm thinking NCAA tournament rules. Sorry.
Yep.
So we're looking at the bracket. I'll throw it up on the screen here so you can see it. But yeah, so as far as the, so you got the Lakers going up against Memphis.
Yep.
That one's an interesting one. And then you've got Minnesota going against Denver. So,
well, no, you'd have the Pelicans versus Minnesota, and then the winner of that goes against Denver. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So loser goes here. Loser of this goes here. The winner of this goes here.
Okay, so Minnesota plays the Pelicans.
New Orleans for that 8th seed spot.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so who wins between Minnesota and New Orleans?
I'm going to go, it's just one game, and I'm going to go Minnesota again. Because, again, the Pelicans are just going to be, there's no playoff experience there. They're going to be, the game's going to be at Minnesota. No, the game would be at New Orleans.
Yep, so it's the 7th seed over the 9th seed.
Yeah. I don't know. I go with playoff experience, man. Mike Conley's been there. Rudy Gobert's been there. And
Yeah.
Cat's back with Minnesota. I think Minnesota.
I was able to watch them a little bit against, I believe they were playing against Phoenix when I watched them the other night. So
Yeah.
they looked pretty good. They were able to stay with it. So I think you're right. I think Minnesota makes it into the 1 seed, and I think it's a gentleman's sweep between them and Denver.
Yeah, they might get one, but I don't. The big thing is we both know that Rudy Gobert really struggles against Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
And having Cat even in the rotation, if you got both of them on the floor, maybe cause some problems. But I mean, with Denver having Michael Porter Jr., I mean he's back and healthy. Denver's just a really tough out for me out of the West. So.
Yeah, unless Rudy has a game of his life, I really don't. The series.
Did you see his jumper the other day?
Yes, I did.
He's like 10-foot turner.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so Lakers versus Memphis. Who do you got in that's a 5-game, or is it a 7-game series?
That's a 7.
Okay, so 7-game. Okay, who do you got in that one?
That one's really tough for me.
John Morant's back.
John Morant's back. I don't know if the Lakers can run with Memphis. Because Memphis, and they're the team that everybody loves to hate, but they push the ball up and down the court. Yeah, I mean, they push the ball up and down the court really fast. I mean, Lakers are really going to struggle to stay up with them tempo-wise, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I would say Memphis in 5.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead into the play-in tournament on the other side here.
Yep.
We went a little too far into the actual playoffs. Let's just stick with the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
We got to save some content for next week, right?
Yeah.
So we've got again, if this starts today, we've got Atlanta versus Chicago. Now on the east side, this is pretty much locked in. There's a 4-game difference between the 6th seed and the 7th seed.
Yeah, not nearly as close as the
this
West
one
is.
It may switch who plays who, but
These are pretty much the teams in the play-in.
Yeah. So we got Atlanta versus Chicago. I'm taking Atlanta in that one. I just think that they have a little bit more solidarity in the team there. I just think there's too many injuries for Chicago. I don't really see them making any moves.
Has Quinn Snyder already taken over as head coach of Atlanta?
Yeah, I believe he's been coaching for him for a while. So
I would say with Quinn Snyder's playoff, like just coaching, he's definitely able to put them over Chicago.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree there. You got Miami playing Toronto. Who you got in that one? Miami's the 7th seed.
Yeah. I think I like Miami in that one. Yeah.
Jimmy Butler gets it done?
Yeah, I really like Jimmy Butler, man.
Who's Toronto got now? I haven't really seen who they've been.
I mean, they got.
I saw them play twice this season, and I don't even.
Yeah, I mean, they still got OG, Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. Yeah, Siakam. So I mean, they still got some really great players on Toronto. I mean, from that championship squad they had a couple of years ago, but I like Miami in that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty solid. Yeah. I think Miami. So we've got Miami.
So then you have Toronto versus.
You got Toronto versus Atlanta.
Yep.
Toronto versus Atlanta. Okay, so we have the 7th and 8th, the 9th and 10th, 8th and 9th seed going against each other.
Yep.
What are you seeing there?
I think Atlanta. I think Atlanta over Toronto.
Yeah. Same reason why I think Atlanta's over Chicago.
Yep.
Just better led team.
Yep.
You got Trae Young that can take advantage of a team playing it. Take advantage of his talents and really space the floor and stuff. So. All right. Yeah, I like that. So we have in the Western Conference, we got Denver playing Minnesota. We have the Phoenix playing Golden State, Sacramento playing the Clippers, and Memphis playing the Lakers is what you got going on.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
So, all right. And then in the East.
Which those are all really, really good series to watch, man. Those are all really fun series to watch.
So we got Milwaukee playing Atlanta, Cleveland playing New York, which they played today, by the way. I didn't get to see the end of the game, but Cleveland and New York. So it was really fun to watch Donovan Mitchell just do Donovan Mitchell things and just drain down threes and some crazy circus shots in there.
His step back threes, dude.
However, I watched him turn the ball over 3 times in the sense of 5 minutes. I'm just like, man.
Dude, his step back and sidestep threes have come so far from watching him as a rookie. I mean, he just takes these enormous steps.
Yeah.
And his balance is
immensely
on point.
talented, but I just watched him go in the lane and lose the ball off, act like he got fouled, and had 4 wide open players that he could have kicked the ball to and just decided not to. So it's fun to watch him play, but I'm kind of glad he's not on the team anymore, to be honest with
Yeah.
Then you got Philly playing Brooklyn, and then you have Boston playing. We had Boston playing Miami. So again, awesome. Also a good set. So playoffs are looking good, folks.
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the NFL. There's not a whole lot going on, just a lot more of the same status quo type things going on where it just talks about, there's a lot of mock drafts going on right now. So DJ Moore was traded to the Chicago Bears by the Panthers. So the Panthers are going to have the number 1 overall pick. So there's a lot of talk about how that's going to all shape out. But really the only news in the NFL right now is still centered around 2 players, Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. Let's first go ahead and tackle Lamar Jackson. So just to bring you up to speed on that, Lamar Jackson was restricted franchise tag by the Baltimore Ravens well over 2 weeks ago. Has it been? It's been, I think, about 2 weeks now. So far, no offers have been made to Lamar Jackson on that. In fact, there's several teams that have actually come out and said, we are not interested in Lamar Jackson. What's your take on that? Like, why are we sitting here? Again, we've known your take on this is that someone's going to pay the man. But now that we're sitting here 2 weeks since that happened, free agency is literally pretty much done.
Yeah.
We're talking about the draft. Why has nobody made an offer for Lamar Jackson?
I can't think of a reason, man. He's that guy that can go out there and make any NFL team a little bit better. Mm-hmm. The Ravens don't have the best offensive line. Mm-hmm. You put him in a position where he's got another second in the pocket. He's got another second, one more block on, one of his run plays. Like, he's going to make any single team a little bit better at that position. The fact that he hasn't got any offers to match that franchise tag offer is just crazy to me.
Well, I just think what they're trying to do is they're trying to avoid doing what the Deshaun Watson issue. Nobody wants to. We talked about it last week, how there might be some kind of conspiracy, how so many teams are coming out and verbally saying to the media why they're not interested in Lamar Jackson, which is unprecedented for somebody who's a former MVP at his peak. So I just think that that's basically what happened. Is I think Deshaun Watson's contract has scared the rest of the league from being willing to offer him anything than what he's already had. I think in combination with the fact that he's not been proven as a postseason player, on his current deal, you pay this guy, $30-40 million a year.
$200 million overall?
Yeah.
Over 4 seasons? That's crazy.
So I just don't think that he's done enough, even though he's an MVP, even though he's, a top 5 quarterback, easily top 4, I'd argue, maybe even top 3, to be honest with you. You got Patrick Mahomes,
Aaron Rodgers, and then name somebody that's super better.
I put Lamar Jackson over Aaron Rodgers, to be honest with you.
Aaron Rodgers is like 60 years old, man.
Yeah, and he had the worst season of his career last year.
Yeah.
So I would honestly put him above that. So yeah, I'd say top 3.
Yeah.
There's definitely a quarterback I'm forgetting about right now that was quite good last year that I, lost in the Super Bowl. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But
no, we don't know that guy.
We don't know that guy. He's gone.
Jalen Hurts is definitely top 3.
I would say.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's a lot of talk about it from ESPN, CBS Sports, and Fox Sports asking, should Lamar Jackson sit out the 2023-24 season if he doesn't get a contract that he's, wanting?
I disagree with anybody sitting out. Anytime you're on the field, it gives you an opportunity to show why you're worth the money that somebody's going to pay you.
You're also in a situation to put yourself to get hurt.
Yeah, but you're a professional football player.
Does have a history of injury.
But if you think that you're worth that major contract, go out there and show it. Win 2 postseason games. Win any postseason game. If everyone's big argument is that he can't win a postseason game, he's got to get his team to the postseason and he's got to be successful.
Yep.
And then all of those arguments are negligent. You know what I mean? They can't even talk about them.
I think he wins 1 postseason game. That narrative goes away. Because that means he's won 2. And even if they lose in the next round, I don't really think that it bodes, unless he throws like 3 picks or something like that. But
and just it goes catastrophic. On it. But I don't know. I think any player sitting out trying to win a contract, it's just so contradictory.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he needs to play the final year of his contract because if anything, he plays himself into a better contract offer, maybe into a 100% guaranteed contract. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think if anybody offers him anything decent other than what the Ravens have already offered him, they're going to match it. They're going to,
they're absolutely.
You got a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
So there's no point in risking that. But actually, here's an interesting point. Let's go ahead and pivot to the other situation. We've got Aaron Rodgers, right? That deal's still not completed.
Right.
They're still going back and forth on the trade package, which we probably won't see that until midway through the draft. So we'll see what happens there. But there's a lot of talk, and this is coming from ESPNSports.com, is what about the Jets deciding to go for Lamar Jackson over Aaron Rodgers? I think that's brilliant. I think if you kind of put the feelers out there, if you're the Jets, saying, look, we're going to look, I think he's going to come cheaper.
Yeah.
He's going to come much cheaper.
Yeah, if all of a sudden you're looking at other options, the Packers may or may not be a lot more pushy to get a deal done. No, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think it makes all the sense in the world for the Jets to go after LJ over Aaron Rodgers. One, he lines up, and these are 4 points that are actually laid out by CBS Sports. But he's a better fit for the timeline in relation to the age for the rest of the New York's top players.
Yeah,
so that
absolutely,
makes sense.
Dude. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is at the very end of his career. I mean, he's on his last contract right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you
Lamar Jackson is in the prime of his career.
You can get 4 or 5 good seasons out of Lamar Jackson, almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Versus 1, maybe 2 good years of Aaron Rodgers.
After Aaron Rodgers coming off his worst career season.
Yeah. What are the odds he's going to step in there and just ball out?
I mean, they put a lot of tools on that team specifically for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like it definitely looks like they're trying to build that receiving squad to give him some hands to throw to. But I mean, you plug Lamar Jackson into that, and now all of a sudden he's got some really good receivers to throw to. Mm-hmm. He could very easily have his best career season.
Absolutely, 100%
Yeah.
agree. We talked a little bit about it. He's going to definitely come cheaper. The draft capital for Aaron Rodgers is going to be pretty costly there. He also has to invest in some young players at some point, is kind of the argument that CBS Sports makes on that one.
Yeah.
Kind of talked about it a little bit. But Jackson could make another leap in his performance, just like you were talking about.
Right.
He could have his career best because he's got the best, he'd have the best receiving core he's had in his career if he goes to the Jets versus, what he's got going on in Baltimore. So, it makes sense. I really like the idea of, just simply the Jets saying, we're interested in LJ and saying this is what we're willing to, offer you.
Yeah.
Give you a 5-year contract.
I just like adding a little bit of drama to the NFL scheme, man.
Yeah.
And bring it.
Yeah. Give him a 5-year contract.
Yeah,
Not
okay.
necessarily 100% guaranteed, or maybe a 4-year 100% guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
Something like that. And really solidify yourself as a threat. Either way, you get Aaron Rodgers, you get LJ, you're going to be one of the favorites in that division. Just either way.
Yeah.
Either move you make. 1, you just have a prolonged run.
I'm sure
2,
the Jet fans are just eating it up, dude. Just bring us a quarterback. Bring us any quarterback.
It makes a whole lot of sense to me. And honestly, what it would do is also push the Packers to just get a deal done already.
Right.
And just make it happen, because I think they're expecting, this massive draft capital for him. And Aaron Rodgers has 1-2 years left, and he's going to take a majority of your salary cap. So, it's just...
Dude just makes stupid money for what he is.
And so, Aaron Rodgers had the worst season of his career last year, playing with a broken thumb, so... but 2 years, $60 million per season.
He's still Aaron Rodgers.
Still Aaron Rodgers. Still a top 5 quarterback.
Right.
But he's not Tom Brady. He's not gonna age well.
Well,
at least not the way his play style is.
No, he's not Tom Brady. Let's just make that perfectly clear.
Yeah, it is more likely, in my opinion. I think it's a better option for the Jets to go after Lamar Jackson than it is to go after Aaron Rodgers. But it makes all the sense in the world. But, typically from my understanding of the NFL, what I think makes sense doesn't necessarily happen. So I still think Aaron Rodgers ends up playing for the Jets and they get like a haul for him. But I think this is a very attractive offer that the Jets probably shouldn't ignore.
Right.
So, that's just my take on it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think Lamar Jackson fits great with the Jets this year. Yeah. With like I said, the receivers that they've got there.
And honestly,
you'd be crazy not to at least explore the avenue.
Yeah.
And even just float him an offer. Here's what we think we can pay you, and if you can get Lamar Jackson, he's going to make your team better.
Yeah, and of course we both know Baltimore's just going to sign it. They're just gonna match it anyway.
Right.
So that might be the reason why they don't go for the move.
Just to pay him more, but yeah.
and that might piss off the Packers and just pull them away from the negotiation table too. So there might be more to it than I think. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think it just makes better. I just think it makes all the sense in the world to at least make the offer. I don't think it hurts anything.
Yeah, at least look down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're in the same division, right? So
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, moving right along, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Major League Baseball.
Yeah, opening day just happened.
Yes, it did. Did you see what happened to the Dodgers Diamondbacks game?
I didn't actually see it. I just saw the final score.
Oh, okay. So there was a proposal where a player...
In the middle of the game?
in the middle of the game, a proposal where a Dodger fan, ran out into center field, turned around and proposed to his girlfriend in the stands in the middle of the game. And if you're watching this, and we're gonna play it right, we're gonna play a clip right here for you, and he just gets leveled by a security guard, just hit hard. Guy's coming at him like 30 miles an hour, just boom, knocks him straight to the ground. He's tackled, he's handcuffed, and you can even see the Diamondbacks outfielder going, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" It's not like he wasn't doing anything. He was literally just sitting there on one knee proposing to his girlfriend right there in the middle of the Dodger game. So that's probably like the number one highlight of the MLB opening day season was the proposal at Dodger Stadium. So just so you know, the report did come out a couple days later that she did say yes. So
oh, excellent. Yeah, at least it wasn't all for nothing.
Wasn't all for nothing, yeah. So good for her, good for him. Having charges pressed against you and getting tackled and banned from any Major League Sports day is totally worth a proposal.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully he's not a huge Dodgers fan.
Hopefully not. He was wearing a jersey, and those aren't cheap at Dodger Stadium. So, but anyway, I think that was pretty funny. Actually, there's a couple of huge upsets on opening day. The biggest one is being the Colorado Rockies won 2 out of 3 against the San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
I thought was insane that the San Diego Padres arguably had the best lineup in the National League West, and they lost to the worst team in the division twice.
Yeah,
in a row.
Crazy.
Who are not going to be winning 500.
Right, not even playing 500 baseball.
Not playing 500 baseball, even according to their own owner.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I don't know, the one highlight that I liked was the Hunter Renfroe no look behind the back catch, dude, from the Angels game.
Oh yeah, that was
good.
Did
you see that?
That was good. Yeah, that was awesome. Great way to cover the fact that you took a terrible route on that ball.
Yeah, terrible route.
Where was he going? Did he think if there was a win there that I didn't see?
I think he just wanted a highlight catch.
I guess.
Because it was a terrible read. That was a rough game for the Angels, though.
Yeah.
Ohtani comes in, pitches a gem, and then the reliever comes in, and they get 2 runs off him in the 8th, and Angels lose 2-1 to Oakland.
It's unfortunate, but that's just Angels baseball.
Yeah.
They always come into the year, like they were even in first place for a month last season before they collapsed and went on like a 10-game losing streak or something crazy like that. They basically had the greatest position player of our time in Mike Trout and the greatest athlete in professional sports of Shohei Ohtani on the same team, and they can't even make the playoffs. So, they've had some of the best managers. They just got terrible ownership. I don't know what's going on there. It's, they just don't invest in pitching, which is what they need to do.
They got Ohtani. That's all they need. They got 1 pitcher.
Yeah, and they have a 6-person rotation to keep him fresh. So,
well, they didn't even win the last game he pitched. They lost it too.
Yeah,
because their reliever came in and gave it up.
It's great to have baseball back. A couple of key points I want to touch on. Something we talked about a lot over the last 2 weeks was the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
The players that came back from the World Baseball Classic are crushing it.
Oh, really?
They are just killing it. They are pitchers that are going 6.5 innings strong, getting less than 90 pitches. You got people who are hitting multiple home runs. Perfect example is Trace Thompson. He hit 3 home runs in a single game last year. Within the last couple of days. I can't remember if it was last night or the night before. 3 bombs, 7 RBIs on the night, RBI on the night. And so across the board, just the people who participate in the World Baseball Classic are ahead of the players that didn't play.
Do you think that it helps to see some of that international pitching talent? Like just the variety of pitches you're going to see, the variety of speed and off speed you're going to see.
I just think playing in meaningful games ahead of when everybody else does is important.
Yeah, it kind of gets you into mid-season form rather than preseason form.
Yeah, exactly. I think, the velocity that some of these pitchers are throwing with are ahead of schedule. Hitters are seeing the ball better. So, And like I said, there were less injuries in the WBC than there were in spring training. So
Yeah.
Again, I just think there's just more evidence to the World Baseball Classic being a total win all the way around. Correction we have to make, by the way, the World Baseball Classic is every 3 years, not 4.
Every 3.
So yeah, we have
Cool.
to make that correction. So
Well, I'm looking forward to the next one because I'm going to tell you that championship game was legit.
yes, it was. The new rules have definitely sped up the pace of play. Again, 24 minutes on average. Even with opening day ceremonies and everything, it has sped up the game.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was really cool on the rule change, I know this has been a subject that we've talked about a lot, but Ronald Acuna Jr. I think is going to lead the league in stolen bases this year.
I love stolen bases.
Because
Love it.
he baited a pitcher into throwing over twice.
Yeah.
And with the new rules, that's all you can do.
Now your leadoffs as long as you want.
Yeah, as long as the catcher can't backpick you, you're not even looking at the pitcher anymore. You're just waiting for him to start his motion, and then
you're gone.
You're gone.
Yep.
So you can take the biggest lead you want. You just got to bait that pitcher into throwing over twice.
Yep.
And I don't think there's a rule for the catchers to be able to backpick.
Well, he'd still have to deliver the pitch.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So he's still got to deliver. So at that point, I mean, he's probably gone. He's not going to try to slide back.
Yeah. So the only option they would have is a pick out and a back pick, but he's already taken off. So I just think that's incredible. They're using the rules to
make the game more exciting.
Yeah, just to take advantage of the
I
fact that
love
they can't
it, dude.
steal. They can't throw at them, and they got 6 more inches to play with on the bases. It's just
I watched a really cool video on that MLB.com posted on Instagram, and it kind of went over all the rule changes. And they just talked about how they're trying to get baseball back to more of like the fundamentals of what baseball was. Getting rid of the shift and the stolen bases and all the things that made baseball fun.
ironically, the shift is still 100% in play. The only problem is what they did is they basically made a rule. You can see our short on YouTube on this one where we explain it's also available on our Instagram page at DNA Sports Recap. Be sure to check that out. But the rule is you have to have 2 infielders on the left side of second base and 2 infielders on the right hand side of second base.
Yeah.
There's no rule about where you put your outfielders.
Oh, so just pulling the
So instead of the
outfielders in.
third baseman being in short right field for pull hitters that are left-handed, they're just bringing the left fielder over and having the third baseman and shortstop playing as deep in the infield as possible. Then when the pitch is thrown, they step back. One of them steps back in the outfield. So they still found a way to make the shift work. So unfortunately,
That's kind of funny.
yeah. So unfortunately, pull hitters are still going to have to deal with somebody standing in short right field.
New rule change next
Yeah.
year.
At least it's not Manny Machado.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, the new rules are going to make it funny. I will say that there's one thing about the pitch clock that's making me kind of nervous.
What's that?
Is we're seeing a lot of players go down with oblique strains. A lot of pitchers going down with oblique strains. And I think the quickness on pitching is causing them to pull.
Just get fatigued, maybe?
Just pull muscles.
Yeah.
It's too easy to pull a muscle. I don't think it's really impacting the hitters as much, but it's as far as getting ready, getting set at the plate. The pitch clock definitely seems to help the pitchers more than the batters. I think it's harder for the batters to, but I think it is going to cause a lot more injuries. So it's something to look for.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I definitely see that being an issue going forward. So we'll see. But yeah, anything else you have on baseball?
I look forward to it, man. This is going to be a good season. I'm excited to keep watching.
Yeah. Are you following any teams this year?
I'm a Braves fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to follow the Braves.
They have a stacked team, man. I don't
Do
see
they?
anybody coming out.
I watched the Braves and it was like John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddox.
Do you remember that
those were the teams that I watched, man.
Do you remember the commercial they had where they had Tom Glavine and Greg Maddox they're watching people hit bombs and they're the chicks are going all ooh and they're like, hey, a couple of Cy Young Award winners over here. And they're just that sucks, man. We need to learn to hit. They start practicing. They hit home runs. They start hitting bombs. And they give each other a shoulder bump, chicks dig the long ball. I love that commercial, man. That's awesome.
Dude, there's a clip on YouTube with Greg Maddox. And he's got this old hippie gear on. And he's supposed to be a field worker. Mm-hmm. And he comes out.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and he goes out and they're like, yeah, do you want to throw batting practice?
Just shoves.
It's what the hell? This guy's got some stuff, man.
Yeah, that's freaking hilarious.
He has no idea it's Greg Maddox.
Oh, yeah, man. I love Greg. He was he was a great pitcher, man.
Oh, man.
Played for the Braves. Played for the Dodgers a couple times, too. So.
Yeah, but those are the Braves teams that I watched. So it's obviously been a few years.
It's been a minute, yeah. They have a great team, so I look forward to seeing them play as well.
I'm thinking about paying for like MLB because you can pay for like just to see your team like every game, can't you?
There's
Especially
the
since we're
MLB
not
extra
really-
innings. It's basically just an out-of-market package like the NBA League Pass.
Yeah.
I watch it. Just keep in mind, it's you got. This is the part that I really can't stand about Major League Baseball is the blackout restrictions. So we're here in Utah, right? If your team plays the Arizona Diamondbacks or the Colorado Rockies, you're blocked out on the MLB extra innings package.
That makes sense.
Just be thankful we don't live in Vegas. You heard about this?
Uh-uh.
So you have your regional sport network and your extended regional sport network. That's why we're blocked out of Diamondback games,
Right.
even though we're not close to
10
Phoenix.
hours away.
Yeah. So, but if you were in Vegas, you're blocked out of Diamondbacks, Rockies, Dodgers, Angels, Oakland A's, Giants, and
Because you're 10 hours from everybody.
Seattle Mariners. You're blocked out of like 7 teams or something ridiculous like that. So if your team that you watch plays any one of those teams, you're
Not
SOL.
seeing it.
You got to pay like $120 a month cable package to get that. So, yeah, quite ridiculous. But anyway, the MLB should be a fun year. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of storylines to watch for sure.
Yeah.
Where Shohei Ohtani's a free agent after this year, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Someone's going to pay that man.
Someone's definitely going to pay that man. It's probably going to be the first person in North American sports history to get $500 million contract. So
He deserves it.
yeah, I mean, as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah.
So that's
Which
the problem.
He's been pretty healthy over his career, hasn't he?
No, he's had some injuries,
Has he?
but nothing that's too outrageous. But here's the problem, though: if you sign him a 10-year, some of these massive contracts these players are getting, at some point he's going to not hit or not pitch. He can't be a two-way player. Even
All the
Babe Ruth
time.
only did it successfully one season. So, he's going to have to decide whether or not he's going to be a hitter or a pitcher. So, at some point, that decision is going to come. And why would you? And you're going to be paying him $65 million a year for that.
Right.
When really he's a bargain when he's two players in one. When he's just
Yeah.
one player in one. Which way do you go on that? But all right. Well, once again, folks, I believe that wraps it up for us here.
Yeah.
Here on the DNA Sports Recap. Again, folks, if you're watching this on YouTube, keep in mind the full episode is available as a podcast. You can see us on YouTube Podcasts as the full video. If your audio is more your thing, you can find us wherever you find your podcasts. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Google Play.
And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Please leave comments. We love knowing, what you guys want to hear about next.
Until more, again, also follow us on Instagram at DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.
See ya.